but if you can't pick up quick kills with your team as Darius, very quickly you become kind of weak, because he only has one real damaging ability. His W does, do some nice damage. His ultimate, if you can snowball fights, he's got a ton of damage. But if you can't snowball the fights, if you're just, head-on auto attack, really his Q is his only main damaging ability. You kind of have to hold on to your ultimate, to try and snowball. So we'll have to see how that works out for them. But adding in the Ahri gives them some great early aggression, gives them that mobility, gives them that roaming, so they can try and pick up kills early.
It gives Peculiar some mobility. SK here is pretty much all about mobility. Jax, Tristana, and Lee Sin are just going to be jumping wherever the hell they need to be, and that's what worries me. And that's I mentioned before. I'm going to mention it again. The Skarner pick worries me, because I personally pick Skarner against teams that are not so mobile. If you have like a Karthus, or if you have someone who's just very slow moves, it's also champs without spell shields as well. That actually helps too. But there's so much mobility here. Orianna can go ahead. Orianna has the slow. Sona has the ult.
Yep.
Skarner's gonna just have such a rough time just trying to land the ult on someone, and that's thing with Skarner in the jungle too. I mean, his ganks are okay, but he goes in and progresses like a Warwick. And once you hit 6, your ganks just get so much more stronger. But this is a team comp where I think it may actually be ineffective. If Ahri goes in and actually grabs a charm, or if Ashe actually lands an arrow, then the Skarner ult can follow up. But I'm not expecting a whole lot out of these Skarner ganks.
Well, the issue, Skarner the Skarner ult's actually pretty easy to land. I think a lot of people underestimate how strong that Skarner ult can be, particularly in the early game. We get the fast, or if he gets the fast Shirelias, and then also having the flash Skarner ultimate can be really devastating. And Orianna, she does like to use her range in lane, but if we have the Skarner ult onto Orianna and we follow it up with Ahri, that's going to be plenty of burst damage to take her down. The issue is going to be in fights, not with landing the Skarner ult, because one thing that he can use the ult for is pulling off Jax. So Jax tries to get that initiation. You use the Skarner ult, you pull him off, you wear him down. That suppression is going to be huge. The issue is going to be the rest of his damage, and that they're going to be kiting out Skarner a lot. So we'll have to see. Both Skarner and Darius are very vulnerable to kiting, and with that mobility, like you said, having the Sona, for that quick movement speed boost, having the Orianna for the slow movement speed boost, they could try and kite out the Darius and Skarner where they're missing a lot of damage, because Ashe, as an AD, doesn't have a lot of damage early on. She's mainly about utility. She does scale well, as the game progresses because of how much utility she has. But if they can't pick people off, then in these fights, they're definitely going to be at a disadvantage. So we'll have to see how that works. I think they have a lot of great initiation opportunities.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of kill potential early. So, we saw last game they did a pretty good job early on. If they can take that early advantage and try and snowball off from kills, very quickly we can see SK on the ropes.
And the one credit I will give to Peculiar Game 1 is that their ward coverage early on was absolutely stellar. Every opening in SK's jungle was warded. They had the timer on the first respawn of blue down pat. And if Peculiar can go ahead and use the same tactics, but I'll just adjust it just slightly for counter warding to make sure that SK has no idea that Skarner's coming, then those ganks become more effective, and then you get those early kills, and then you can see Peculiar snowball. But that's one of the advantages they have going into this game. I like to see them use it, but also keep in mind that Ahri, very much like Kassadin, can be extremely mobile. So there is a possibility that Ahri can actually also go ahead and roam and get into those team fights and get those early ganks, unlike a Karthus.
Well, and it's that mobility of the Ahri with the Janna movement speed as well. If they can control the blue, that's going to be huge.
Yep.
And they're going to be really strong. We have a really aggressive team from SK. I would generally say though that the blue should be fine. Ahri should be able to control it. With how much damage and how much early disables they have, but we'll have to see. I mean, bot lane, it's primarily going to be a farm lane. Skarner, once we see both Skarner and Ashe 6, we could see them come down there. We could see the Lee Sin come down and have the Tristana rocket jump followed up by the Lee Sin shield to get in on there. that could be pretty aggressive. But for the most part, I think they're going to want to sit back and just kind of farm. If they get off any early harass, that'll be huge. But for the most part, they'll farm. And so a lot of the aggression is going to be coming top lane for this game. Once we, get a couple of levels, we'll see a lot of aggression mid lane as well. Ahri, with the mobility, actually is a strong counter pick to Orianna. So, we'll have to kind of watch out for that. But a lot of the aggression in this game is going to come from that top lane, trying to snowball either Jax or Darius one way or the other.
Do you think there's a possibility? Now remember, Lee Sin, he's not a mana-based hero. He does use energy. Do you think to try and mitigate some of the lead that Ahri will naturally have in mid, do you think Ocelot will be past the first blue?
It really depends on how Dedrayan is going to be maintaining the jungle. So if he starts off at red, he could go for the quick blue as well to get the early levels. And having the early buffs is definitely huge on a jungler. Even a manaless jungler, having the cooldown reduction, it gives you the energy as well. So it is going to be really nice on Lee Sin. But sometimes if we see a red buff and then a quick gank bottom, then that means that the blue is being pushed back to like 4 minutes as opposed to like 3 minutes. So if it's pushed back to like 4 minutes or so, then we could see, him passing off the blue. But we'll have to see. I mean, after that, initial one, then it'll almost surely be going to him. I think we'll probably see him start off at blue though. Just because there's not a whole lot of ganking potential bottom with the Janna and with the Ashe volleys. They should be able to kite that out. Yep. So we'll have to see. I mean, the big thing with Ahri versus Orianna actually has a lot of really nice harass. And her passive, I think people forget how strong her passive is. Having that auto attack harass is just so strong. You can get the harass from the Q as well. The issue with Orianna is when you can get in between Orianna and her ball, then very quickly she loses so much damage. So, Ahri, with her positioning, she can just close the distance. So you want to get really close range and personal against Orianna so that, after she's used her ball, she has to wait for the cooldown, and that's when you go. And that's what Ahri has. You have the initiation potential. She can, try and dive Orianna, pick up some kills, or harass her down a little bit and pick up the kills. So the Orianna shield, it'll help negate some of that damage, but she's definitely going to have to watch out for a lot of that aggression from Ahri once she hits 6.
Yeah, not to mention, the synergy with the Ahri ult along with the Sona ult is just so beautiful. And just, you're ensuring that everyone just really stays in one spot, and that's more than enough time for Jax to get in and for Tristana to get in.
They have so much synergy on their team as a whole. I mean, their entire team is it's built for team fights, and they have a really strong late game, with Jax and Tristana, and, everything is going to work very well late game. Orianna, she can play defensively against a lot of lanes, so she can use her lane, her Q to just kind of farm. Before level 6, she will actually be at a little bit of an advantage over Ahri, with that harass. But we'll have to see. I mean, once we have the team fights going, just all of the AoE and the single target damage for the follow-up, it's just so much kill potential for them.
So you're going to go ahead and load on into game number 2, SK versus Peculiar. I'm happy, person with me always is the Red Baron. Should be getting into this in just a little bit. Game 1, you saw Peculiar going for the Jax in the jungle, but SK is going to go ahead, grab the Jax, grab them first pick, and going to send him top lane this time around. Lee Sin going into the jungle as well. And, he's a pretty mobile guy. He's a pretty speedy guy. He's got pretty good jungle speed on him as well. But, going up against Skarner, he's got pretty good. He's got a pretty good clear speed as well. But I can see Lee Sin just going straight in for a level 2 gank top lane as well. Because Jax, if there's one thing that Jax does well, once he gets advantage in lane, he snowballs extremely well.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the case. I think we'll probably see a lot of aggression. That's actually why now that I think about it, we'll probably see Lee Sin start at red, do Wraiths, then red, and then blue, and get that level 3 with the double buff, come up there and be able to sit up top, because he wants to be able to keep up with Skarner and not allow Skarner to get the early gank. So because Skarner's going to start blue and then get some quick pressure top, we'll probably see Lee Sin start red so he can make his way up to that jungle path. But we actually see, I think right now they're just kind of sitting here defensively, don't want to allow an engage. But we'll see if anyone's going to invade. Neither team really has the greatest level 1, though SK's does have a lot of single target burst damage. Yeah.
Here's the thing, Lee Sin, I mean, red buff, starting out with red buff helps him immensely. Skarner, if Skarner starts off and does not start off with blue, his clear speed, it doesn't fall off completely, but it does get slightly slower. He does progress just a little bit less without that mana regen on him, without the cooldown reduction on him. But Lee Sin though is just, he can be an absolute monster with the passive, with all of his abilities. Once he hits 2, he's pretty much fine. But there's a lot of pings going on from Peculiar. I think they're a little bit conflicted on exactly which bush they want to go ahead and defend in. But it looks like SK will not be going for the invade. They want to secure their own stuff. Jax is going to be going back, probably going to pick up a 4th potion to go ahead and grab with him top lane, just waiting for the gold to grab it. And there's Peculiar going to go ahead and start on the Wolves. Lee Sin's going to start on the Wraiths, and they should be able to pick up secure their first buffs pretty smoothly and without issue.
Yeah, and so both of them, starting off on kind of the right side of the map, will be able to make their way towards that top lane for that early aggression. Lee Sin actually has, it's actually a pretty even clear for Lee Sin and Skarner. Skarner has the AoE, so he does a little bit better on the small camps. Lee Sin, is a little bit better against the main camp. So there's actually not really a jungling speed in this game because Skarner is actually an extremely fast jungler. If anything, actually Skarner might have that advantage, but it's pretty even. We're already seeing some harass going down from Sona. Wants to get some off. Early levels is definitely huge, but we'll have to watch out with the Janna shield. But generally speaking, Sona can pop that shield pretty easily. Just a quick Q and an attack.
It's done.
Yeah.
But also, well, Tristana actually going really quick down onto Haxor. The exhaust is already down 1 shot, and actually Sona will very quickly grab the first blood, but Kevin is going to be in a little bit of trouble, but Killwar trying to get the kill. Not necessarily the heal is baited out, should be fine, but now Jax in exchange top lane, going to get the Ignite down onto the Darius.
Lee Sin coming in, going to steal this red buff.
Lee Sin, are you going to be that much of a jerk? Are you going to go ahead?
Skipping right over his blue, and he is just waiting for it. He has his smite up, so actually he doesn't actually able to get it. So level 3 for Skarner, he is kind of low, but he does have a little bit of an advantage there. He is coming up to this wall. In the meantime, Jax just continuing that aggression, and Skarner chasing back on the Lee Sin. So if Darius comes in here, Dedrayon is way out of position, and we'll see if they can chase him down.
Darius, he's there. Do you have the? He's only level 2. He doesn't have too much, but there is the Ignite. There is the Flash, and that should be more than enough to get the kill onto the Lee Sin. But Niftus does not have the speed in order to catch up to capitalize on the low health Darius. And you know what? A little bit of a misstep by Lee Sin. He should not have waited until the buff was gone. He just gone. He sees him. He's going straight in. He had no idea that the Skarner smite was still up. So it was a little bit uninspected. So he sees the red buff go down. He's like, oh crap, you still got smite. I'm in trouble. But he still went in on it.
And so you saw Lee Sin, or I'm sorry, Jax, with the really early aggression against Darius, was able to take him down really quickly using that level 1 Ignite, since all right, level 1, it'll be up pretty early. It's not really going to get him a kill, but it got him a quick lane advantage against Darius, and it looked like Jax would maybe be able to, take control of that lane. But having the red buff now, being able to come in on Lee Sin, is just so huge. So with the red buff, with his passive, he can just sit by the creeps and farm, and if Jax ever wants to come in and farm, Darius just won't let him. And so that's just the quick snowballing that Darius has. Jax, his only opportunity to farm is going to be when he's under tower, and I still can't believe how much burst damage that bottom lane has. And Tristana and Sona, it's a really strong burst lane. I think that's something, it always kind of takes people by surprise. Both of these champions, just how much burst damage they have, and so able to take that huge advantage early on. Though Ashe, was able to respond with that kill, and actually Ashe is a little bit ahead of Tristana right now because of the farm advantage. Even though we had, the first blood going down, Sona picked it up. So Ashe actually taking advantage of that lane.
So you also notice here, I'm so fresh here in the bot lane. Sona's got an objective in mind. Whenever Janna throws down the shield, Sona just walks right in with a quick Q, trying to get a power cord and just pop the shield. That's Sona's objectives here. But right now, in the top lane, Darius is getting engaged upon. Lee Sin wants a little bit of revenge, going for the wave and the follow-up with the kick. And he's actually going to beat about a quarter health walking back to the tower. Does not have any potions, does have a heart of gold, looking to us, to take the lead and go as far as with it as he can, but trying now to get away from the Lee Sin, tries to get a kill. There is the hook in, there's the Skarner, but there's the flash come in from the Jax. We'll be able to pick up the kill. Lee Sin will go also down in the process, but now the 1v1 duel, the Skarner versus the Jax. Jax is being slow, trying to get away, but Skarner does still have the double buff. Nif may not be able to fight this one, and now the Ignite going down. Basin just a little bit too far. No, cannot. The tower shot will not be enough to get Jax, and just Leap Strike was just not there to grab the kill.
And the big thing is not only were they able to get the kill onto Darius, so getting that red buff onto Jax, but also Darius is missing out on a lot of experience. He's actually, it's stalling right in front of his tower, so not as much as he would like, but he's still a full level behind Jax right now.
He's just walking back and forth. He's like, hey, Jax, you want to come in? You want to jump on me? You want to get this kill? No. Getting out of here. He's just killing time, wanting to keep Jax there while Darius was making his way back to lane. Whatever time can be killed, and now Jax is still low. Now he has to go ahead and back. And that was just good on Skarner to just kill time, and Darius now has the lane for himself. And even then, when Darius was not there, Jax didn't do too much farming.
Yeah, I mean, so the farm is very even in that lane. Darius actually has a little bit of an advantage, but Jax still has the level advantage and has that red buff. We do see Lee Sin kind of chasing out Skarner in that top lane, but so far, Kevin doing a fantastic job in this bottom lane, getting off that harass, you know, just very easily able to win this lane. So we'll see if that turns into kind of a farm advantage as we go on. Right now, Ashe still has the great farm advantage from that level 1. So the level 1 kill going down onto Janna for the first blood, but because Ashe was able to stay in lane where Tristana was dead, you know, they still have that farm advantage, but we'll see if that starts to turn.
Right now, SKE wandering around. The blue has just came back up. They had the timer on that thing down, and Skarner's not too far away, but he is 6. He does have the pull, but the blue will actually go down. There was an inkling. Killward actually goes over with the hawk shot. They get vision, and they realize that thing was just stolen right under our nose. And Peculiar tried to do that game 1, but could not leave the forest with it. But SK this time is going to be a little more successful.
And so Darius actually with the ult now, his Ignite is up. He is kind of playing a little bit defensively right now. He does have to, you know, kind of worry about those Lee Sin ganks, but they did see that Lee Sin stole that blue. So he knows Lee Sin's down there for a little bit, so he could probably be a little bit more aggressive. He doesn't want to, you know, take too much damage, but actually if he gets the pull in, he has the Ignite and the ultimate very quickly. Skarner coming in, gets the ult back, so Jax actually being pulled out of position, and there is the Darius ult dunking right on top of Dax. Very easily able to pick up that kill, so we'll see how that lane progresses.
Yeah, and hopefully Ocelot will be back here, and hopefully he's not having too many issues. But we are on live, so we're going to be playing. You know, from most of the matches now, we do play on live servers. Just, you know, Tournament Realm can sometimes be a little bit tricky trying to manage so many players. But for now, though, still got bot lane farming pretty well. Kevin and Episode Fresh doing, you know, it's mentioned before, it is a pretty aggressive lane, but for the time being, though, Killward does actually have the creep advantage, but Lee Sin trying to get the kill, trying to get anything he can onto the Darius. There's the chase, there is the slow one, something, anything, come on, one more hit, there you go, the red buff will finish the job, and in the meantime, Kevin actually does get the kill onto the Janna, still in pursuit. The arrow is not enough to dissuade her, but still cannot get the kill.
So much burst damage. We actually have Janna walking right into the power cord, and then the ultimate from I'm So Fresh. Very quickly, they're able to pick up that kill. The exhaust does help Ashe get out of there, and then the perfect timing on the flash right before the rocket jump lands. So we'll be okay. In the meantime, we do see Ahri up, you know, by this mid lane, trying to keep kind of vision around, but you know, did lose that blue. So unfortunately, without that blue, you know, Ahri loses a lot of that mobility. So you know, really nice steal from SK to get that advantage early on. And we'll have to see. I mean, Jax sitting mid for a second, wants to get up some farm while they're waiting for Orianna. And we'll just going to go back for a second because this game is kind of messing up. So we'll, you know, hopefully get into things shortly. But regardless, I don't know, really nice play from both teams. SK in particular to put themselves in a position to, you know, win this game. Bot lane still, we have the Ashe farm advantage over Tristana, and so she's done a really nice job holding that. Now, you know, constantly pushing into the tower, can try and keep Kevin behind, but they have had a lot of aggression. They do have, you know, the kills. So with the kills, you know, they are actually pretty even in farm right now.
Yeah, I do have a little bit of concern about the Lee Sin, because, you know, Lee Sin, he's one of those champs, if you don't get a pretty good lead, Lee Sin very quickly can actually fall off, and he ends up being reduced to a shield and like a boot to the head. But he's doing okay, and with unfortunately Ocelot DC'd for the time being, this does allow him to actually just sit in the lane and just cash in on some free farm opportunities. And, you know, Orianna's not too far behind. There we go. Ocelot is back. And actually, in the meantime, he's going to see that Lee Sin is going to be a little bit better farmed here. Nif is there top lane. The ult has been popped. The extra resist going down. And the Ignite thrown down onto the Darius, but will he go and continue on this engage? The ult will end on Jax. The resist is gone. A little bit of a waste there for an engage. Didn't just actually quite happen, but...
Well, the big thing with that Ignite is it kind of wore down Darius a little bit. It, forced him back. He recognized Darius is going to try and get some kills here and has plenty of damage, gets the pullback, and so actually Jax is going to get very low. We'll have to watch out for that. We have the Ignite and we have the ultimate. In the meantime, they are coming in for this blue, so Lee Sin was taking it, but both Ari and Skarner are going to be zoning them out here. Do get the blue, and we'll see if they tower dive. We have Ocelot coming up because he recognizes, all right, there's 3 guys up there. They have a ton of damage, and Jax is low, so let's back off. Jax almost going down. They actually used the Ignite and the ultimate, so I'm a little bit surprised he wasn't able to pick that up, but just barely surviving there. So
yeah, he didn't have as many hemorrhage stacks before. He's always like, but there you go. There's the Ari ult, the ult from Ocelot, just trying to get away. Skarner's in pursuit, may not be able to get the pull, but there's all the Ari ults have been burned. But the turret has been focusing Skarner this entire time. Great coordination from Peculiar there in the mid. Good on Skarner. Just go ahead and take that like a champ. But Tristana getting back aggressive in the bot lane. The arrow going down onto the Sona will not be able to get the perfect positioning on the ult until now. And Janna caught out a little bit too far once again. Ashe is not even a target, not even bothering there. Just trying to get as much damage onto the Janna, and it's working.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that Janna just didn't get the hell out of there. Ashe, threw off the arrow onto Sona because she recognized, hey, if they hit this Sona ult, we're done. But, another kill going on to SK. So, really nice job there. I mean, Tristana farmed is going to be huge. So, we'll have to see if that's going to be the case going on. Skarner has done pretty well so far. He's able to get those pulls. It's actually coming into Sona, and his ult is up, so he has plenty of damage. He's going to be chasing her down. Unfortunately, Tristana is coming as well. We'll see if they can kind of hold them off, so he is going to back off
Ashe
here.
is keeping Tristana busy, though. The rocket jump once again coming down here onto Kill War. Maybe able to chuck out, and there's Sona with the flash, able to get just enough damage. But now Skarner is here. Pull is up. Ari is nearby. Might be able to burst down Tristana. The ult is down onto Ari. Not quite there yet, but the auto attack should be able to do it for the shutdown. Janna is back with the ult, keeping Sona still. The orb from Ari and all the damage from Skarner should be able to grab that. But Lee Sin's here trying to say that they get the shield down, but will not be enough. And now Lee Sin's in a bit of a predicament as well. The slow coming down from Janna.
Right into Ocelot. So Drayan coming back onto Skarner. Will want to back out of there, but they do have a lot of burst damage. If they can get into Skarner, not going to quite get that ultimate. And so Ocelot actually walking into this death trap.
Ocelot wants it, but Ari ult is back up, and Ocelot really now has nowhere to go. Just got way too greedy on that one and will go down to the Janna.
Yeah, and so while that fight was going on, Darius, with all that burst damage, really quickly picking up the kill into Nif there. Able to get some, nice play. And with the Heart of Gold and, this early aggression, we'll see. We do pick up this dragon. So Lee Sin, he did go back. They do get the dragon as well. So Darius is actually way ahead of Jackson Farm right now. He's got the CS advantage. He has the gold for 10. And so Jax, can't get into this game, then that's definitely going to be a concern. But SK, they do have a really strong teamfight team. But right now, the initiation, it's in the favor of Peculiar. They're taking full advantage of it. Ocelot, he was out, but he really wasn't out that long. So we'll have to see, how SK can kind of come back in this. They have a great late game team. If they can kind of stave off this aggressive punishment that Peculiar's laying down.
Yeah, and if you want a nice indication of how far behind Jax is actually at the moment, you usually don't see Jax stacking 3 Doran's blades. And if you're returning to base, if you don't quite have the money to start working on your bigger items, like either getting a cutlass or starting on something like a Trinity Force. You don't have the gold, you're going to have to stack Doran's, try and get some health, try and get some lifesteal and damage to just sustain in lane just for a little while longer. And it's going to be a disadvantage for him in the long run. And Lee Sin, he's not doing too hot either, but then again, you have all these GP10s being built onto the side of Peculiar. And there you go, Nif back in there in the top lane, full stacks of hemorrhage. Ult is actually up for the Darius, but Jax will leap strike away and get out just in time.
Yeah, and so Jax can't even lane against Darius right now. And that's actually, both of them have that kind of capability. With Jax and Darius, if they can get an early advantage, they can force out most laners in the game. And, that's the issue. Darius going to be able to shut down Jax continuing forward. We actually have the Ashe arrow, and so getting some nice damage onto I'm So Fresh, but not a lot of kill potential. But here's the thing. They recognize, all right, we just for the most part want to sit here and farm. We're not going to get kills bot.
Yeah.
So let's just wear them down a little bit. We wear them down so maybe they can't be as aggressive as they want to be since they are just absolutely crushing us right now. In the meantime, we have Nif jumping onto Darius here along with the Drayon. And so very quickly, they're going to be able to pick him up. There's the kill. Oh, almost just barely able to do it. But Nif very close to going down. Oh.
The Drayon just stopped focusing. Just stopped focusing. He's like, oh, hey, he's in the mid-air. I'm going to focus on these creeps now. And there would have been more than enough damage. Just, there's more than enough time. Well, because remember, if you're being displaced in an ult like a Dalstar headbutt or the Lee Sin kick, if it goes straight into the wall, you're just it's basically a hard stun. You're just there motionless up against the wall. And there's plenty of time to just pile on the damage. But no, you waited. Darius gets the ult off, and the minis and hemorrhage stacks just finished the job after he was gone.
And it's kind of interesting. Skarner trying to get in bottom. He has that Oracles. He actually wasn't seen by any wards, but Ahri came down as well, and so they spotted Ahri with that ward by the race that Skarner's going to be able to pick up right now. So they knew, oh, Ahri's coming down. Skarner's probably here as well. Let's back up a step. They were safe. Go and take the golems, while they're waiting for it to push to the tower. That's always a good decision, but unfortunately, they are going to get the Skarner initiation if he goes really aggressively. Kevin should be able to get out of there, but I Am So Fresh will be actually the perfect buster shot.
Nice buster shot. We'll just go ahead and keep Skarner away, but he's still getting aggressive. And Ahri now going in onto tower will actually get the kill. And there is the pull onto the Tristana. She is going to be gone. And that's the thing, though. Right now, Peculiar knows don't focus the carry. Focus the support. She's the one you really need to be worried about because that ult could really just mean, Tristana has plenty of time to burst someone out of the fight outright. Yeah. So you saw it. They're going for the Sona. Still managed to get her. It's like, well, Tristana's fine too. Then you get the pull on her because he didn't even use it earlier. Didn't even need it.
Yeah, and they just have so much pick-off damage. We have that ultimate once again for Darius. Just one pull taking Ocelot to half. And so they can just kind of bully around SK right now. And Darius, he can continue to control that top lane. Nif, getting some nice damage on this tower right here will actually probably take this tower down, but he has to watch out for Darius.
Yeah. If he just stayed on tower, he would have been able to take it out right there, but he waited. He just he wants to keep he wants to try to keep Darius in lane though, but if you're losing
if he
had
taken the tower, then Darius is going to follow it up with a quick kill and actually just barely not able to get that pull, so he will be able to back out of there.
I mean, if you want, keeping someone in lane is a good strategy if you're winning. Choosing to not take out the tower is just like, to keep the winning laner in there is just kind of strange. But there you go. They're going to go for take two, see if Jax can actually live this time around. But there we go. Not a whole lot doing that time around. That was the correct one. But Skarner's not too far behind. His ult is down. Janna ult is up. But let's go ahead and back off.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that Darius didn't just throw off that flash. But,
he accepted
we'll
his
have
fate.
to see. Yeah, there are a number of disables with the two of them. I think he recognized, all right, Lee Sin has the Q on me. I'm already low enough. I'm not going to waste it. So actually, we see that tower going down bottom. They get some nice aggression off there. The big thing with that Darius versus Jax, and if Jax can come back, that's going to be huge. But we'll see if we have a flash in from Sona maybe, or actually the flash is down. But if Darius can continue to control the lane against Jax, he can sit there, just win the 1v1, hold him up top, and then they can constantly win these 4v4s the rest of the map. But we see Drayon jumping onto Ahri, forces out that ultimate, and actually Ocelot going to try and follow it up very quickly, able to dodge that ult, so we'll be okay.
Hey, forcing the ult, that's fine, but SK managed to displace Peculiar enough to go ahead once again for the blue steal. Good job on that. And now, Peculiar's just now realizing, where most of SK is, and meanwhile, in top lane, Jax pushes, split pushing very well while everyone else from Peculiar is distracted.
And Peculiar, they kind of look lost right now. They had a huge advantage. They're kind of running around, not really sure what to do with it. And they're like, oh, we have to get kills. We have to, pressure this advantage. And as a result, they're allowing Jax to farm up top. They're allowing SK to get kills around the map. And they're not, taking a whole lot of advantages. We have the dragon up, so we'll see if they press a fight there. Ahri is a little bit low. Wow, actually, the Astro and the flash in from Failure very quickly with that Skarner up, pulling him back. Ocelot goes down instantly, so can get that ultimate off. But even so, really quick initiation, even though we missed that Ash Arrow.
Yeah, you see though, if the Orion ult, if the rest of SK was there, that could have been a very bad predicament. But now walking face, checking, Kevin, no. Actually gets ran there. The ward was there. But this could not get away in time. But,
She
they got the
actually,
ward down.
Sona dropped the ward
Yeah.
when they came up, so they didn't have it there. And actually, we have Ash with the flash chasing down Sona with that slow. We'll be able to get out of there. Darius here as well is going to continue this fight, gets the bull, has the red buff, and actually with the follow-up, if we hit the charm, it is onto Jax very quickly. He's going to go down. The ult from Darius along with the flash, they're able to pick up that kill. And now, you know, 3 kills. They can go and take this dragon. SK has to back off. So that's what Peculiar wanted to do.
They could if they really want. Actually, no, they couldn't take Baron now. But
no, definitely not.
But no, yeah, it's just sometimes when, and that's not the most common of bushes for an ambush. I mean, good on Peculiar to try and get the ward in there, but it's just, you know, it's a dangerous bush to ward. It really is. And you saw just Kevin melting instantly upon entrance, and it's just unfortunate. But that's, if you want an ambush though, usually you'll see it in the side bush on the entrance to the river or in the curve. But that's a very small bush.
The big thing is that this is just such a dangerous bush for blue, and so blue has a lot of map advantages. This is one of the map advantages that purple has, having that dragon advantage early. This bush in particular, you know, can be devastating. The thing is, if you have a ward up here, then you'll see the enemy go into the bush, and so the bush is out in the open. A lot of times you can see people enter it, but if you don't have vision, because they have the Skarner, you know, they're going to be fine. The Ash Arrow underneath the tower, though, Ari's going to follow it up with the charm. Ocelot will go down. I don't know if he DC'd.
Right down the mid. Right down the mid.
He threw off the shield, so you know, he threw off the shield. At least we saw that. It looked like he was just trying to get that last bit of harass onto the tower. But the big thing with that bush is, you know, you have to walk right past it to get to the dragon. It's such a great ganking spot. They are able to take down that dragon. They have a huge gold advantage. We'll see if they can continue that.
But yeah, the Ash Arrow sometimes it's just more than worth it to just throw it down mid. Cooldown is short enough. Why not? You might get something from it. You might help out mid, and there you go. Just Ocelot stuck around a little bit too long there, trying to get the harass. No Sona go for another face strike, but actually Ari is there. Get some quick damage down onto the Lee Sin, but there is Skarner. He does have to pull up, and there you go. Gonna go ahead and grab the Jax. He does flash away to safety. Darius cannot get the damage he needed to on the ult, but there's Tristana trying to burst down the Ari, but it will not be enough to finish the job. Lee Sin full retreat. Sona's not too far behind, but ults are pretty much all down. Ocelot is the only one up, and he's now joining the fight. Orb is way too far away, and the damage is not there either.
Yeah, awesome play by Peculiar. They're going to be able to chase down Sona. There's another kill. Lee Sin with the flash, but Dedrayan is probably going down as well. There is the slow from Ash, and it was just a great fight all around. And the big thing, the Ari was kind of kiting around the entire time, you know, just desperately trying not to die. And she had Sona in pursuit, Tristana with the jump, and Ari hitting the charm in mid-air. And so actually, the rocket jump, you know, even though it landed, Tristana wasn't able to get the rest of her damage quickly. Otherwise, Ari would have very quickly gone down. Like one auto attack probably would have been enough to do it. But getting that charm off, you know, saved her. And just really nice play. They have so much slow. They have so much sticking potential. So, you know, with Darius and with Skarner and with Ash, that if they can take advantages of the fights like they are, very quickly they can chase them down and pick up the rest of these kills. We do have this ward here. Skarner just not actually going to check it, but we'll see. They can go back. They can get some items, and, you know, just continue to aggressively push their advantage.
Dude, that drives me crazy sometimes. You know, we have the spectator vision, but it just drives me nuts. It's like, no, you have the oracles. Let's go to that other bush you don't know. It tears me sometimes, but right now, Peculiar's in a really good spot, but SK is going to try and be aggressive, just take out the tower, get a little bit extra global gold. This is another objective for them, so it's something they can go ahead and write home about. But still, though, Peculiar's a tower up. They're 12 kills up. But SK, I mean, they do have, if they can get the one fight where they chain all the ults, where they chain all the CC, it could work out into their favor. But right now, prime target #1 is the Ari. You got the DFG, you got the death cap.
Well, and there's the issue is that Darius is so great at snowballing fights, and with all their slows, they're so great at, you know, ending fights. So, you know, once the fight starts, it's hard to escape from them. But not only that, but we have, you know, so much burst damage with Deathfire's Grasp. They can basically kill anyone on this team, you know, almost instantly if we get the Ash Arrow and we get the Ari initiation. So you get one kill, now it's a 5v4. You follow it up with Darius, you know, you get another kill. Very quickly, it just snowballs from there. We do have Skarner clearing out the Baron, so we'll see if they can pressure this. The big thing is, I don't know if they'll want to pressure it. We actually see Skarner trying to get an engage on the
Ocelot.
Ocelot, though.
There's the pull onto the Orianna, followed up by the Ashe arrow, but will not be able to get away. Tries to ult, tries to keep everyone in a clump, but it will not be enough, and that is Peculiar's time to go ahead and grab this Baron. There's not a whole lot SK can do about it. Kevin's been away from a few of these fights, just off trying to farm, but SK, they're getting picked off there. There's not a whole lot that can be done, and right now Peculiar, the Baron, he's about halfway done. They should be able to grab it. They do have the damage necessary, but Kevin, he's got something to say about it. Jax is now going in, but Ari is there still with the ult. The Sona ult grabbing pretty much everyone still in the area, but Ari is off dealing with other things, grabbing the Tristana real quick. Jax wants the kills. He wants the Janna, trying to get to the Ashe. She's still poking her head out, but there is Darius to get a little bit extra damage, and Skarner will actually get the credit for it. And there's a little bit of a split there from SK. Sona ult was pretty well, but Ari was away from the fight, dealing with the Lee Sin, so did not get caught up in it, and that's the person you need to focus right now is Ari.
Yeah, and so very quickly they're going to be able to take down this Baron. They had it down to about half, before the fight engaged. There's actually the surrender, so
there you go. They know.
SK, yeah, they recognize that game is far over. So really nice job by Peculiar. The early game aggression with the Ari, with the Ashe, the Skarner worked out fantastically for them, and so there you go.
That's the thing though, like Skarner, like he didn't even finish the Shirelias, didn't even need it. It was more like Skarner was being played as a support because Ari was doing so well.
Well, and that's kind of Skarner's role. He's a support jungler, but having that hard suppress, that hard CC, they're able to really quickly pick up kills, and that's what they needed.
Yeah, it's like he's not there to initiate fights.
Yep.
He's there to secure the length of fights, because remember, Darius, he's most effective the longer fights go on, because he can go ahead and get more hemorrhage stacks the longer the fights go on, and Skarner's just there to help prolong, and that's really it. This Ari, all the fights just went right to her.
Yeah, no, they had plenty of CC, getting early advantages, really quickly able to snowball those fights. So we'll have to see how SK can deal with it coming into game number 2. The early advantages, it was kind of a back and forth lane with Darius and Jax up top, but in the end, Darius able to take the advantage of that lane.
Yep.
And either one of them, if they can get an early advantage, is just huge. But because they were so far behind, on farm and just so far behind in general, we saw Peculiar, they just bullied them around the entire game. But we'll have to see. We'll be coming back shortly. We're going to go to a commercial break, and we'll be right back for game number 3, the final for it. It is 1-1, SK versus Peculiar Gaming. We'll see you shortly.